What is the FIU brand? What is a brand? A brand is how you feel about an organization. It's an emotion, a response. It is not a graphic or a logo. It's a reputation, a promise an organization makes and keeps to its customers. It's also what makes us unique. In early 2009, FIU set out to help define and uncover its own brand. A team of researchers surveyed thousands of prospective students, current students, parents, alumni, supporters, as well as community leaders via email, phone, in-person interviews, and focus groups. What we found is that people agree on 6 attributes that define FIU: entrepreneurial, international or global, accessible, community-focused, vibrant, and ideally located. Worlds Ahead is FIU's public declaration to the world. It is our promise, built on attributes we can demonstrate. Worlds Ahead is both an affirmation of who we are and an aspiration for the future. It's not a tagline or a new logo. It is our answer to the question, what is FIU? FIU is a vibrant, student-centered public research university, ideally located in Miami, that is worlds ahead in its commitment to learning, research, entrepreneurship, innovation, and creativity, so that our graduates are prepared to succeed in the global marketplace. The Worlds Ahead brand message will be woven into our communications from here forward. We all have a role to play in telling FIU's story. Join us.
Good morning. So, what's so important that I ask all the faculty and staff, friends, board members to be here today? That's what's so important. How many of you have heard that before? FIU who? How many professors who are here have traveled to a conference and gotten the blank stare of unfamiliarity when you say FIU? How many of our professional staff have had to say it twice? Don't you think that we are way too big and far too good for that question? We are. And so today we are launching a campaign that we want to put that question to rest. We're here today because FIU is worlds ahead, and it's time everyone knows it. And I know firsthand that our community is hungry for a campaign like this. And I also know that our faculty, our students, and our alumni want us to elevate our visibility, our message, our prestige. They want us to speak with one voice about who we are. Now, we know this, not just because of your experience, but we also know it because, as many of you know, we held a number of consultations, what we called community summits, with leaders from throughout our community this fall, over 200 to be sure. This is the final report of those summits. You can pick up a copy on your way out, or you can read it on my website. But let me give you the bottom line of what came out of these summits. Very clearly, our community stated they're not hearing about our accomplishments or what sets us apart as a university. And as a result, very clearly, we have an image problem. Our research demonstrated that. To develop the Worlds Ahead brand, our external relations team worked with a national marketing firm we surveyed 4,000 members of the FIU community about their perceptions of our university. Now, I know we have a room full of researchers here. Researchers are trained skeptics. So let me indicate that Sandy Gonzalez-Levy, our Senior Vice President, has the data, if any of you would like to check it. But our foundation also had the foresight, ladies and gentlemen, to fund our initiative with private dollars last year. And as a consequence, we are now implementing the campaign internally with our own staff. Indeed, what you will see today is totally produced by your FIU. I want to thank Ray Marchman from our foundation. He's been a longtime champion of this project, and he's here today to see it come to life. Ray, would you please stand and be recognized, and thank you very much for your advocacy. Ray has almost been a one-note Johnny, with all due respect, about our image, about our marketing, about our branding. He's from the community. He understands those issues, as do so many other of our leadership, including Morris Hollander, who's president of our President's Council, who is here today as well. We developed this campaign based on research. And when we were done, a small piece of data kept coming up at us. And here it is. Check it out. On average, ladies and gentlemen, only 30% of the people we surveyed rated your university, our university, as very good or better. That's a whole lot of people, too many people, thinking we're only average or poor. How many of you think we're better than this? I know you do. But if your hand isn't up, and that's okay, why isn't it up? We have to start by building confidence in ourselves right here at FIU. If there's one thing we should all agree on, it's that we provide an outstanding education. If there's one thing that we agree on, it's that we have pride in what we do. And I know you think that. And I know when you're not happy about something, you'll let somebody know about it. And we'll try to fix it, because we're solutions-oriented. But the point, in fact, is the data show very clearly that we're not doing as well as we should be, given all the efforts that you have made to build a responsive, great public research university. These numbers are a call to action. And that action, in part, is Worlds Ahead. The Worlds Ahead campaign is how we're going to tell the FIU story. What are these attributes? They were mentioned a moment ago. Vibrant, entrepreneurial, international and global, community-focused, accessible, ideally located. Notice that, ideally located. It's not that we're the only place. We are ideally located to be the place. These attributes capture the spirit of our university. And they also, quite frankly, provide a roadmap for the future. Through our QEP, our Quality Enhancement Program, FIU is going to ensure that all our students have a global education, that when they leave here, they have a global perspective, the same global perspective that most of you have, our students need. And through our partnerships with Miami-Dade County Public Schools and with Miami-Dade College, we will remain accessible and community-focused. But at the same time, it's clear that we're going to have to cultivate a much more entrepreneurial approach to the financial challenges of the future, something that I've spoken about and that we will continue to speak about, particularly in our strategic planning exercise. We will capitalize on our ideal location to strengthen our international programs and research. And we will celebrate our athletics and student life programs to build an even more vibrant university. Worlds Ahead is who we are. We're vibrant. We're student-centered. We're ideally located. We're worlds ahead in our commitment to learning, to research, to entrepreneurship, to innovation, and creativity, so that our students are prepared to succeed in this global marketplace. Now, some of you are asking, I am sure, at this point, do these words really ring true? The truth is, they ring true because they are true. Wherever you go in this country, when you come back, you can see the vibrancy. You can feel it. You know that we have an incredible location. You know that we're entrepreneurial. So the description of our university rings true because it is true. You can embrace this because we've done the hard work of building a research university. We've hired excellent faculty. We've hired motivated professional staff. You've created, the faculty, a rigorous academic program. We've recruited talented students, and we have attracted hundreds of thousands of research dollars, and more is coming. Now, please notice what this is not. This is not about a new logo here. It's not about a new mascot. Worlds Ahead is bigger than some icon or gimmick. We're not just interested in seeing you slap Worlds Ahead on your documents. What we want is for you, to demonstrate a Worlds Ahead attitude, mind, body. And there's another important part of this. One communications office alone, our communications pros, cannot change FIU's image. So please don't think this has nothing to do with me. What we need is for you to be a part of a university that is locally, nationally, and internationally recognized for academic excellence. Aren't you just tired of the FIU who? And if you are, then please take ownership for our message. Please stand up and tell the story. Live it. Telling the story is critical at this point in time. I'm going to do it. I need you to help me do it. We are worlds ahead. Let's tell the story. Now, Sandy's marketing team is doing their part, ladies and gentlemen. But it's really the faculty, the staff, our students who are going to give this initiative its depth and its resonance. You do that by being dedicated teachers, innovative researchers, and by adopting, if you're in the staff, a student-centered approach at every level of this university. Be worlds ahead by taking pride in our accomplishments and sharing that pride with others. Worlds Ahead asks you something. It asks you for a little FIU swagger. It's okay to have some swagger. It's okay to be proud. It's okay to say, yeah, we're FIU. And let me tell you a story here. Just very quickly, a couple weeks ago, I came through U.S. Customs. I was in Haiti, as some of you know. And when I came through, I gave my passport, to the immigration officer. He didn't even look up at me, which was a little annoying, you're just a number. And he swipes it, and he says, "What do you do?" So I said, "I'm a professor." That's the easiest way to get through, right? Oh, you're a professor. Go ahead. But he didn't let me through. He said, "What do you teach?" I said, "Political science." I thought that would be enough to get me through. No. Then he said, "Where?" Now I know I'm in trouble because he's starting to drill down. So I said, "Well, actually, I'm the president of FIU." And he doesn't even look up again, and he goes, "No." He says, "You're the new president of FIU." Now, that was all right. But I said, "How do you know?" And he said, "I graduated from FIU in 2008. All right? So it's okay to have some swagger. He had it. And he made me feel good just by how he recognized who we were. Worlds Ahead is the right message for us at this time. It affirms who we are as a vibrant, innovative, and creative community of students, scholars, professional staff. It's aspirational because while no university in the world has accomplished what we've accomplished in just 40 years, we turn the impossible into the inevitable time after time. There's still so much work to be done. Worlds Ahead thinking is going to help us to push us to improve where we fall short, and we can clearly see the data. We need to do a lot better and be even better where we excel. Now, in a moment, I'm going to bring up Professor Troy Elder from the College of Law. He's the founding director of our Carlos A. Costa Immigration and Human Rights Clinic. Law students there in this clinic that you all helped us to create provides free legal services to immigrants and victims of human rights abuse. Many of us are one degree of separation from an immigrant or from someone who has been abused by, who's had their human rights abused. Troy's a Yale Law School graduate. He only speaks 4 languages. And as an attorney in France, he specialized in international treaty disputes with foreign countries. Along with his expertise in international law, he brought to FIU deep ties in our South Florida nonprofit legal community. So when I say we have Worlds Ahead faculty, I'm talking about professors like Troy Elder. We need to tell these stories more often, ladies and gentlemen. And we also need to tell the story of programs like what the Carlos A. Costa Clinic has done, because it symbolizes who we are in terms of being worlds ahead. Under his leadership, the clinic has built a record of fearless advocacy, trial victories, and community partnerships. And we all benefit from the clinic's achievements. They're helping us to win national recognition. He's going to tell you more about the clinic, but he's here today because of his passion and dedication to make this institution worlds ahead. Troy.
Thanks, Mark. Thank you. Thank you so much for for this invitation, and I am pleased and looking at my colleagues and friends in the audience, humbled to be here, but above all, excited about FIU and about this campaign. 6 years ago, when FIU's new College of Law set about the task of opening up its first in-house law clinic, as the president said, that's a part of the curriculum where law students represent real clients in actual pending cases. We asked ourselves a couple of questions. First, what does it mean to educate lawyers, to educate citizens, students becoming lawyers in an ethical and community-minded way in a community that is Miami? Second, we wanted to know, how can we best activate the core constituency that is FIU, our students, our community? How can we foster the affinities that we already have in the community? And importantly, how can we leverage the intellectual capital of this university beyond the law school? And third, we wanted to know, how could we really make a difference? How could our students grow, serve the community in the context of a public research institution? We first turned to the world that is Miami. And we looked, frankly, about 7 miles west of here to the Chrome Detention Center, which is one of America's largest prisons for immigrants. And though our neighbor here, quite remote from a lot of the legal aid and immigration attorneys in town. And we decided that we would focus on representing vulnerable immigrants of all nationalities at every level of the court system, starting locally, nationally, and internationally. This is an example, this picture that was on the FIU magazine a couple of years ago, of one of our clients that we've represented up to several levels of appellate jurisdiction right below the Supreme Court. Over time, we realized that we wanted to look at the world beyond Miami as well. And with the help of some private dollars that we had raised, look to countries that were historically the sending countries for immigrants in the mosaic that is South Florida. And we took our show on the road, so to speak. And now our students have been to a number of countries, pre-quake Haiti, Colombia, Mexico, and are working hand in hand with local human rights organizations on a number of projects and cases in those communities. And finally, we realized that sometimes the world comes to us. As the president just said, Miami, because of its hub for finance and increasingly law, has at certain junctures has had internationalists thrust upon us. A few weeks ago, we were fortunate to have a positive judgment from a judge sitting in Miami, Florida, making whole victims of torture in Liberia following a series of prosecutions, the first prosecutions under the Convention Against Torture against the former Liberian dictator. So what does all this mean in terms of worlds? I guess it's certainly inspiring to have our students involved in these cases, but at the end of the day, it really is, I think, a showcase of our students, of what we can do, and in the end, it's really just to be a part of their world that makes me so proud.
Good job. By the way, let's not underestimate what they got done. They took down Chucky Taylor, who was a torturer in Liberia, with a $23 million judgment, and finally his victims got justice thanks to our Carlos A. Costa Clinic. I'm happy now to introduce to you Brianne Fernandez. She is a senior advisor in our Academic Advising Center. As many of you know, students come first, and we're making an effort through advising to make sure they get the attention that they deserve. Brianne is among many advisors who play a critical role in the education process. She's one of our best. She specializes in helping the thousands of students who come to FIU every year as undecided majors. It takes a special talent to do this job well and to get it right. And the guidance she provides can change a student's life forever. Brianne.
Good morning. I'm very excited to be here. Thank you, President Rosenberg. As previously mentioned, I do work in the Undergraduate Advising Center, and I work primarily with undecided students. Now, it's a continual challenge for these students, mainly because they're not only exploring their majors, but more importantly, they're exploring who they are as individuals. They're exploring their own identity. And that's one of the main reasons why in our office we try as hard as possible to provide them with services, and we have specialized advising, workshops. But one of the main programs that we have in the Advising Center that I've really seen that works in putting students on the right path is actually the volunteer project in the Dominican Republic. Now, I've been a part of this program for approximately 9 years. I actually brought it in 2006 to FIU when I started my master's, and it really, really works. So I want to give you an overview of the great things that our students are doing here at FIU because, in my opinion, it's just marvelous. Our students raise over $13,000 a year to sponsor 2 children in a hospital. So these donations go towards their medical bills. Our students diligently work towards developing lesson plans, and these lesson plans are then implemented in the Dominican Republic. Our students take a group of homeless children, children that shine shoes on the streets, to a camp to really give them back that childhood that was taken away from them. So for that day, these children are children. Our students also donate water filters in the Dominican Republic so families have clean water to drink. They also go to the landfill, the city's dump, and they are able to interact with children that survive and live off of the city's dump in Santiago, the Dominican Republic, an impacting experience altogether for our students to be there and see what that's like and what it feels like and what it smells like to be there. I always tell our students that they oftentimes live in a bubble, in a shell, and that it's a beautiful thing when they can actually remove themselves from that shell and place themselves in an environment where they are to some extent vulnerable, in tune with their emotions, because that's when truly learning happens. That's when it takes place. And it's a beautiful thing when that happens. So for me, at a professional level, at a personal level, it's beautiful to see that transformation in our students. And so to see them develop as leaders, and to see them develop as activists, to see them develop as global citizens, and to see them develop as essentially young professionals is wonderful. It's really a wonderful experience. I do want to finalize with a success story, one of many. We do have quite a few. But Jennifer Almanzar is a student here at FIU. She started as a freshman, undecided, and she was recruited in her first-year experience course. She interviewed and was accepted. She's now fully admitted in the nursing program, and she has taken the lead when we go to the hospital in creating a very educational experience, not only for the group, but even for me as a faculty, as an administrator here at FIU, in really understanding the health conditions of these children. So to see the changes in Jennifer and to see the changes in all of the students, the program works. And it's really, in my opinion, worlds ahead thinking. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Are our students in good hands with Brianni? You bet they are. You bet they are. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do something that's truly worlds ahead. Our brand is built on our global perspective, and FIU is a community without borders. You've often heard me say, the sun never sets on FIU. So I'd like to introduce one of our Worlds Ahead alumni from the College of Business, Derek Capot. He's coming to us live from Beijing. Okay. Shenma Shiho, que hora son? What time is it there, Derek?
Actually, right now it's 11:30 p.m.
Well, it's not your bedtime, but yet, I don't think, but I want to thank you for taking part in this Worlds Ahead initiative. Tell us a little bit about you, Derek, and what you're doing in China.
Sure, thank you. First of all, I'd like to thank you for being a part of this campaign. It's truly an honor to be representing some of the other alumni who have done amazing things, like the alumni that are on the stage right now. Just give them a hand, for sure. Just to give a brief background, I was born and raised in Miami, Florida, from very tight-knit Hispanic parents. I graduated from FIU in 2003 with a degree in finance. I was actually lucky enough to get a hedge fund job because of a professor at FIU. I was a stock and bond analyst for a hedge fund, managing $3 billion with the team. After about 4 years of doing that, I decided I needed to change. I've been in Miami basically my whole life. I picked the furthest point away from home, against my mom's wish. So, I had learned a lot about China at FIU. I learned about China at the hedge fund, and I figured it was an opportunity for me to go over there. Now, our business, what we do is we basically help foreigners, especially Americans and Europeans, and Central and South Americans, come to China to study Chinese and also get internships. That's the short term. The long term is eventually, have an investment company and so on and so forth. That's why we picked the name Next Step China. That's basically it.
Derek, tell us a little bit about how your education prepared you for what you're doing now.
It was huge. I mean, one of the things I think that FIU did for me was build that foundation of knowledge and confidence. Just a brief example, I had a professor, Professor Bear, may he rest in peace. He taught me security analysis. And, he was always, like you said before, research is always very cynical. He taught me to basically dig deep when it came to financial statements. And when I did the interview, it was an 8-hour interview with a hedge fund. And it was that confidence that I got from just a simple lesson that I got from him that was able to get me the job. And just so many things. I worked with and I met many international students and professors. And one of the reasons that I felt very confident about me coming to China was because I saw all these international students, all these international professors basically take these huge risks to leave the comforts of their home to go to FIU for educational opportunities and even job opportunities in the United States. And I figured, well, if they can do it, why can't I? So, I mean, it was huge. Just having the combination of the professors, the classes, and even the environment of the students. It really was instrumental for sure.
Derek, what do you think about this campaign? Give us your sense about it, how it fits, and how it works for you.
I think it's great. The actual Worlds Ahead, I mean, I look at it as a definition. I believe it's an excellent definition of the graduates who are basically having huge impacts in this world. I mean, we're looking at potentially future lawyers and doctors who are going to be in South and Central America and hopefully here in China, having huge impact. But I also believe it sets the tone for the students that they should be thinking worlds ahead all the time, and that it's no such thing as just Miami. It's the whole world is for the taking. So I think it's great. I think it's awesome.
Derek, you're helping students to get internships. So one final word: how's FIU doing? How many FIU students do you have there now, Derek?
Unfortunately, right now I have no FIU students. I'm trying to get a couple of my fraternity brothers to come, and I actually may get one, but I'd like to get more for sure. I always try to mention, when I tell people here what university I go to, they say, "Oh, FIU." They're like, "I have no idea." I mean, keep in mind some of the people I meet here are from Russia and Kazakhstan, so they really don't know. But yeah, and by the way, it would be very hard for me to do that custom story that you did in China. It would be really impossible, by the way. Just like,
Derek, that's why I'm here and you're there. So, so thank you. Give Derek a hand, ladies and gentlemen. Woo!
huh?
Thank you, Derek. And now we have a special treat for you. We've brought together 4 Worlds Ahead performers from our School of Music. They are the FIU Latin Jazz Quartet. Mauricio Quiroz on the piano, Eri Paz on the tenor sax, Maxi Esquivel on bass, and Daniel Cheeverton on drums. Take it away. David Chiverton on drums, Max Esquivel on bass, Harry Paz on tenor sax, and Mauricio Quiroz on piano. Way to go, guys. Thank you. Thanks for that Worlds Ahead music. Awesome. That wasn't the right word, was it? I was supposed to say dynamic? No. What is the word? That's great. Terrific. I got to get on message here, but that was excellent. Thank you, gents. That's it. There, you got it. Let's give. Who said that? Stand up and be recognized. You got it. Vibrant. Right there. Woo! We're going to sign you up. You've met some of our Worlds Ahead thinkers already, some of our Worlds Ahead staff, some of our Worlds Ahead performers, but there are plenty more. Dennis Lehane, Worlds Ahead novelist and screenwriter. He not only did Shutter Island, but he did Mystic River. Former FIU quarterback Paul McCall, he's going to be an astronaut. Alumna Teresita Fernandez is a Worlds Ahead artist and a MacArthur genius. Pedro Greer, some of you know him, you all should know him. He's a Worlds Ahead physician in our College of Medicine. He just won the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Daniela Tomic, who's the Worlds Ahead coach of our champion volleyball team. There she is. Let me back up. No, that's Alan. Danny Tomic, give her a round of applause. She's our Worlds Ahead volleyball coach. Professor Alan Richards, he's our Worlds Ahead journalist in the School of Journalism Mass Comm. He's one of the faculty leaders of FIU's partnership with South Florida's newspapers. A lot of the articles that you're reading in South Florida's newspapers today are written by our students in our School of Journalism and Mass Communication under his leadership. Philip Lazarus, who's an education professor, he was just elected as the president of the National Association of School Psychologists. Alumna Christina O'Hara, guess what? She's the 2011 Miami-Dade Teacher of the Year. She's Worlds Ahead. David Fonseca is a Worlds Ahead student who spearheaded a water conservation drive at FIU. Professor Eduardo Gamara from our School of International and Public Affairs is a Worlds Ahead specialist on Latin American affairs. Garth Graham, he's a physician. He's a Worlds Ahead graduate of FIU. He is now the highest ranking official in the Obama administration as U.S. Deputy Assistant Secretary of Minority Health. We wanted him to be here today, he just couldn't make it. Professor Pilar Martin from the College of Medicine. She's Worlds Ahead in her commitment to public health in Haiti. Our dance marathon students, how many of you have ever gone to a dance marathon or been in a dance marathon? Okay, how much did they raise this year? $160,000 for Miami Children's Hospital. An incredible exercise. Very proud of them. John Bailey, who is a Worlds Ahead professor in our honors college. Joe Carancho and Justo Pozo, Worlds Ahead graduates from our College of Business. Mr. Carancho is now a member of our Board of Trustees. James Mickle. How many of you know James? Is James here? Where's James? Is James here? Is James in the house? He's probably doing, where's James? Please, okay, would everybody recognize James in the back? There he is. James, thank you for all that you do. Professor DeEtta Mills is a Worlds Ahead scientist using DNA to help investigators in our community stop the slaughtering of horses that you've been reading about. Alumna Stephanie Burns is a Worlds Ahead scientist and president of Dow Corning. She's Worlds Ahead. She's a graduate of our chemistry program. Graduate student Rick Soto, he's Worlds Ahead because he's the founder of our composting initiative. Alumni Tanya Lawrence, she's a Worlds Ahead athlete. She's an Olympic gold medalist, ladies and gentlemen, in track and field. Our nursing professor, Joanne Youngblood, she's worlds ahead in her research on the health of families with critically ill children. And there's Carlos Magoya. He's one of our graduates. He just agreed to be the city manager of Miami. He's going to help our great city work out of its financial problems. He's worlds ahead. Michael Moran, Chef Moran, is worlds ahead. He's the faculty organizer of the incredible South Beach Wine and Food Festival that just concluded this weekend. Ileana Rodriguez is a graduate student. She's a worlds ahead athlete who is training for the 2012 Paralympics. Bill Darrow is a worlds ahead professor who is one of the individuals who discovered, traced HIV and AIDS. Bill is in our School of Public Health. Patrick Dennis is one of our graduates. He's a world ahead nurse who's helping to lead humanitarian relief in Haiti for our U.S. Department of Public Health. Professor Mira Wilkins is a worlds ahead economist. Most of you should know her. She's recognized for her groundbreaking scholarship and for her inspirational teaching. Gus Roig is an engineering professor who's one of the original faculty who developed pipeline programs to ensure that our high school students could get adequate math, science, and engineering training. Amy Martinez is Worlds Ahead business manager of our FIU Foundation. Our Student Alumni Association, ladies and gentlemen, they're worlds ahead for their award-winning Panther Day of Service. And finally, our quality enhancement program, Global Learning for Global Citizenship, under the capable leadership of Professor Hilary Lansdorf. They are worlds ahead. Now, I could go on and on. And the truth of the matter is, I think you could too. Because for every person that I have named, I bet each of you could recognize and name at least 5 to 10 of your colleagues who are worlds ahead. And so, it's true. You could. You could. So the truth is, you need to be the life, the resonance of this campaign. Inside your program is a comment card. Please take it out and use it to share an idea with us about this Worlds Ahead campaign. Outside our ballroom, as you go out, we have 2 FIU news cameras ready to roll. We need you to stop by. Take a moment. You've already invested your time. There'll be a little bit of a line. Just wait. Meet your neighbor. Talk to them. And then get to that camera. And I was told a couple of weeks ago, you know, when you're talking to the camera, make love to it. Okay? So make love to that camera and tell the story about somebody who is worlds ahead. Do that for us so we can tell the story more broadly than we have today. Visit our webpage. We're collecting stories about the accomplishments that we've had through research, through our students, through our professional staff, through our alums. I also have something else, ladies and gentlemen. This doesn't end. We have some flip cams. It says Worlds Ahead right here. They're really easy to use. You just press a button. See this red button? You just press it. And you can borrow them and use them to tell the story. Find out, interview the people you want to interview, bring it back to us. And I'm happy to tell you that Brianni is going to take one with her to the Dominican Republic on the next trip that she's taking with our students, because she's going to tell the story about us being worlds ahead. On your way out, you're going to receive our new FIU magazine. It's hot off the presses yesterday. It's full of Worlds Ahead alumni to inspire you. I'm particularly proud of a picture here, and I want to show you. It's on page 4, because for a long time, I have been dying to meet the family in this community that had the most FIU graduates. Okay? We have a picture of them. This is the Gonzalez family. 12 FIU graduates from 3 generations, ladies and gentlemen. They believe in us. They have believed in us because we're worlds ahead. I am so proud of that. And if you know families that have more than 12, I want to know. I want that picture because we need to celebrate that. So pick up the magazine. And in the coming months, you're going to see our Worlds Ahead integrated into our advertising, our promotions, and our social media. You're also going to see our Worlds Ahead thinking in action. So stay tuned. Now, I want to conclude, first of all, by thanking you all for being here. We know that many of you, when you first saw that message, wondered, what is going to happen? I even got some calls from trustees. I hope that never happens again, Sandy. And they were curious themselves. But what we want to do in thanking you is to conclude with the debut of a terrific new Worlds Ahead commercial. Everything in this commercial is real FIU. No central casting, no stock photos. It's all the faces and the places that you know. Our scientists in CERC took a camera out to the Everglades. Our alumnus, Octavio Hernandez, opened a branch of his U.S. Century Bank so that we could film there. Even the soundtrack comes from an alumni musical group called Black Violin. How many of you have ever heard of Black Violin? Okay, now you have, and we obviously want you to support them as you support our Latin jazz musicians. This is the video that we're going to air on television, on football games, on our website, and any place that you want to take it, we'll make sure you get a copy. It's going to leave you wanting more, but don't worry, we're developing more Worlds Ahead video and media because you are our producers and you're going to help it. I leave you with one last question. How are you worlds ahead? Tell the story. Thank you all for being here. Let's enjoy the video.
You always believed your life was meant to be more. Go beyond the world you know. Discover possibilities you never imagined. It's not just about the degree. It's what you do with the opportunity. Be worlds ahead